The expression "great minds think alike" usually refers to a good thing. And yet, when these great minds are each running different cameras, it's not always what you're hoping for. The goal for a multi-camera setup is to get unique shots with different perspectives and framing. Getting a rich variety of shots is a challenge and most often can't be fixed in post. Communication among the crew members is helpful, but nothing beats visual solutions for a visual challenge. And that's exactly what we found with video transmitters and receivers. From my perspective of directing on a film set, it's common to use a director's monitor and a monitor for pulling focus. From a commercial shooting perspective, we use video transmitters in many different ways. Let's get started. First, the Hollyland Mars 400S Pro SDI HDMI video transmitter. Now this transmits up to 400 feet to a receiver and also 300 feet to a phone app. According to the website, you can go to 2 receivers and 4 smart devices. We've never used them in that combination, but we have gone to both and it works. Now you can use an L series battery or a D-tap cord connected directly from your rig's power. This transmits up to 1080p 60. There is an iOS and an Android app for it for your smart device. Hollyland advertises extremely low latency in their words at 0.1 seconds. And I would say it's good, but you can tell there's latency. So the pros and cons on this unit, first the pros. This is a workhorse. It works really well. If you have a problem with a little bit of interference, you can change the channel on either one, the other figures it out. It just works. Picture quality's really nice. However, as far as the cons are concerned, I would say that if you're trying to communicate to multiple smart devices, it gets a little glitchy in my opinion. Whenever we try to communicate to a receiver and a iOS device, that may be a little sketchy sometimes. Not that it doesn't work, because we do and have used it on the gimbal, transmitting to a receiver and transmitting to a smartphone, and it does work, but it is a little glitchy. So that's really our pros and cons for the Hollyland. So the next one that we use is the Accsoon Cineeye 2S Pro wireless transmitter and receiver. The beautiful part of this is that the latency is very low, about 60 milliseconds. It also transmits 1,200 feet at 1080p 60. It does have an iOS and Android app for it. It uses L series batteries, and you can power by the D-tap from your camera rig. It has a 1.3 OLED display. It can work under dual channels. And again, the latency on this thing is just really amazing. We love it. We use it a lot on our main camera. I have not tried to use this transmitter with a combination of the receiver and iOS devices. I know it can go to a smart device. We just really haven't used it for that. So if you have, let us know your experiences on that. So the third kind of transmitter that we use is the DJI Ronin RavenEye image transmitter for the RS2. It also works for the RS-C2. Now, if you purchase the RS2 with the bundle, then it comes with the RavenEye, and so it will also come with all of the cables and cords that you need. But if you haven't, you can also buy this as an accessory. Now it has a cold shoe mount on the bottom, and it just clicks right underneath where the camera mounts on the gimbal. It has a mini HDMI for us, then an HDMI cable, but you could get cables that have a micro or a mini HDMI for the camera, depending upon what you have. This really is a proven performer as well. Now, it's used 2 ways. Sometimes it's used with a smartphone that has a bracket, and it's just used as the monitor for the operator. Now, it's the DJI app that you can get through the iOS or the Android store, and you can connect directly to the RavenEye through that. Now, we also use a tablet, and so this is an iPad, and we have it on a mount that we can clip it to a table. We usually clip it right into our carts, and it can be used as a client monitor or a director's monitor. A lot of times I'll have this out. We'll be using our EarTech headphones, and I'll be communicating directly with Kenny and talking about each B-roll shot that we're getting. So we use it a lot for B-roll. It just helps us to all communicate in a visual way. So if you're using a Zion crane, they have their own version of a transmitter as well. So how do we use these? First, theater and live events. Being able to coordinate and collaborate on shots during a live event is crucial. We have created our own video village with 1 to 6 monitors, usually 3 camera shots. Each monitor gets a receiver and each camera gets a transmitter. This allows us to be able to collaborate on shots, call out white balances and f-stops as needed, who has what as actions change on stage, verifying focus and composition. So for B-roll shoots, we use these as a client monitor or as a director's monitor. If you're using a gimbal, well, there's many possibilities. So let's talk about how we use the RavenEye and the Hollyland in different ways on our DJI RS2 on different platforms. Let's go to the studio.
Gimbals and transmitters. We use them often on client shoots, and they're pretty necessary to help us get things done. So the first one we're going to talk about is the RavenEye transmitter. This is set up right here in very much in an operator configuration, so you can see exactly what I am shooting right here. Looks pretty good. I have a pretty good view of it. The only issue with this setup is that the client can't see what I'm doing when I'm operating like this, so I have to give them the monitor and be stuck working with the back of the screen, which can have a false read, can have delays. Not always the best way to do it. So the solution that we've come up with on the Tilta float here, which we use often, we use the Hollyland Mars 400 Pro with a calibrated monitor, the Ninja 5, right on top of the thumb controller mount right here. We run an HDMI right from the camera into the monitor to short enough distance so it's not a huge issue. And we have another HDMI running into the monitor here, transmitting to Video Village. So this way I have a perfect color calibrated monitor with no latency where I can see exactly what I'm doing. And if you look onto the monitor here where we have the receiver, this takes away the need for any playback. So that way I'm operating, they're seeing exactly what's going on. They can give me live feedback if they need to. So I think this is a much better setup. It makes everything a lot easier on me, it makes everything easier on the client, and that way everybody gets the best shot in the house of what's going on. So that's all I have to say about gimbals and transmitters. Back to the set.
These are some of the ways that Digital Feast has been benefiting from using transmitters and receivers. We would love to hear any applications that you have found helpful or challenging. Please share in the comments below. Most of the products we feature in this video are linked below in our affiliate links section. This is not a paid advertisement, and we are not sponsored or paid for this review. As always, we thank you for spending time with us. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. And if you would like to see more videos like this in the future, please subscribe. We have also linked our EarTech headset communication video that makes using these transmitters even easier. See you on the next one.